Well, I don't know. It didn't give me a chance to name the video, so I guess I'm just going to go live with whatever name is on there. So, just a quick update. It's getting late now. Like 4:30 or 5 or whatever it is when it gets dark here in Northwest Florida in the wintertime. 5:25. I am working on the 49, so I have been quite busy this week getting that BCM and fuse panel mounted up in there in the dark. So basically, there's a few more wires now. It doesn't quite look as good as it did, but we'll get it there. Also, actually ran two of the wires outside of the frame brace or the body brace, so I've got to shorten those wires anyway, and they won't hurt anything for now. But the final product means I need to come back in here and shorten up and reroute the rear taillight harness and the tailgate module, which hopefully at some point will enable me to open up the trunk using the factory remote unlock button, but we'll see how that plays out. But what I did today was I extended and actually finalized the door harnesses. So another thing I did today was got the carpet starting to go in now that all the wiring is in place. And I should have a dome light. Let's see if that's working. Yes, it does. All right, so we got the dome light working. Ran that wire today as well, which is that gray wire. Goes up over this window frame here and then across to the light. But I've got the door harnesses in place now. Let me see if I can find them, because actually I don't really know where this one's at. There it is, actually on top. So this is the factory 2008 Trailblazer plug that's used on the front door on the driver's side. There's also one on the passenger side. Now the difference is that plug is actually located outside of the body and outside of the door in the space that they provide on those. This car does not have that option, and I only need I think it's 5 wires with the ground. I'm going to run a separate ground, but so what I'm going to do is just probably use the factory Trailblazer boots, but instead of putting a big giant hole in the door for plugs, I'm just going to make it big enough for those wires, and just use the small part of the grommet to go in over here somewhere, go through the door, and then I'll probably just take some 5200 and kind of permanently secure that on each side, where you can't see it basically. So from this side, you'll just see the rubber grommet come out. On the back side, it'll be secured with something like 5200. Then we'll run the wires into the door, which are going to go to the door lock, and that's it. Actually, I also have those modules that I talked about in the other video. Those modules are probably going to go in these slots right here. So I'm going to 3D print a case for them. And what's going to happen is there'll be a plug. The factory plug will go into here. And then we'll just pigtail to this module, and then new wires will come out to control the door lock and monitor the position for lock and unlock signal. And then I'll also have another wire, or maybe a pair, that come up to the switch that's right here, which is the factory door open, door jar switch, which just grounds. Unfortunately, it looks like the Trailblazer just uses a low reference, which is going to probably be the same as ground, I hope. If not, I'll have to come up with some kind of switch that'll fit in there that will, be a floating, basically not having anything to do with the ground of the car. But anyway, I just want to get those wires up front, and because they have a plug, they're very modular. There's not going to be a bunch of wires hanging down, waiting for me to hook them up. I can just leave it unplugged, leave that part of the harness out. Same thing on this side. It's got a wire over there. The only difference is that we're going to also go to that pink wire. The factory way is to go to a splice block, but a splice block is just another word for a wire splice. So they literally just take the wire and they split it or go to multiple. So that's going to tie into the serial bus data line that goes to that lock module, which is going to be right there by it. So we're just going to split off, go to that pink, and what that pink does is it goes to a little box I bought that controls my radio, so that I have the factory radio control, ignition on, radio on, ignition off, radio stays on for a while until you open the door, or a certain amount of time elapses, and then it just drops off. So basically BCM control of my radio, as well as having chimes like seatbelt chimes and things of that nature. Not that I have any seatbelts in here or even an airbag module. But anyway, that's what's going to go over there. but it's starting to, you know, look like an actual vehicle now with carpet. It really makes a difference. It feels incredibly strange to see carpet. Ouch, that's my head. It feels very strange to see carpet in here, I'll tell you that. When I bought the car, it had a piece of black carpet laying in it. It was some kind of automotive carpet, but it wasn't, you know, the one that fit the car. And now we have a proper matching carpet here, so pretty cool. Now, you might be wondering, when will I get this car driving again? Well, the answer is, other than the seat, she is now completely hooked up and ready. So if we put the key on, we'll get the air compressor coming on here in a second. And that comes right out of right off the DCM. We can go ahead and air it up as well while we're at it, I suppose. I'm trying to get the chat up here. I don't know if there's any chat going on, but it seems like the chat button is blocked by the Samsung. Weird. Top messages. I don't want top messages. I want all messages. All right, somebody out there say something. All right, so airing up, that's good. Engine, park. And we're live. There's actually a air valve that opens up when you start this, and it will close after a little bit and it'll get quieter. Looking very factory, smells factory with the catalytic converter. Noisy compressor. It's no AccuAir, but it does work. That's a step above AccuAir. Well, I guess since we're here, we can go ahead and inflate the airbag since it's been a bit. Ooh, that's a bit of a problem. I ran this cable under the carpet, but yeah, oh, there's some more under there. Good. So we don't have a whole lot of room to work with there. I'm not a big fan of this Ride Tech controller. Hey, Gamer George. I'm hanging in there. I'm hurting pretty bad today, but that's kind of par for the course for me here lately. Let's see, unlock. Yeah, that's nowhere near all the way up. This is one of the reasons I don't care for this this controller. Is you only get 3 memories, including deflate, which to me is terrible. I mean, you really ought to have a dump valve, a dump mode. Can't say I'm the biggest fan of this touchscreen either. I'm going to get rid of this noise in just a second. I'm just trying to get the car kind of halfway leveled out. Alright, get that noise off. Accessory. Alright, so it's probably not sitting level even though the pressures are the same. Three save points. Maybe there's a dump mode I don't know about, like you just repurpose a different icon on the screen. I need to read up on that, but it's really infuriating that the only way that I know how to dump it, it seems to be either you have to set the lowest of the 3 positions to, you know, low pressure, or you have to manually dump the valves. And being a touchscreen, it doesn't really like you doing more than one at a time. It's not very efficient. So I'm actually thinking about, I've been doing a lot with Raspberry Pis and Arduinos lately. I'm thinking about making my own controller with probably an Arduino, because this system does have built-in leveling. If you buy the $500 leveling sensor kit, as far as I know, it's already completely programmed for it. but I'm just not happy with 3 levels. So I just feel like maybe a DIY controller, which would give me the ability also Bluetooth or Wi-Fi control, and multiple levels and things of that nature. So, I mean, I don't really, I'll probably drop it when I drive it. I'll drop it a little bit, but when I get into a parking lot or something where it's going to be a rough driveway, I will, let's see, sorry, I'm trying to read and think at the same time. I'll put it up higher, so it can actually get over the thing without scrubbing. Now, another problem I've got, these tires are very old. They're actually about 2013 tires. And this one developed a leak, which I think is the wheel, not the actual tire. Can't find any nails in it, but this one likes to leak down on us. And I've kind of been holding off on new tires because, I've got a lot of, I guess you could say, planned paint and body work kind of stuff going on here. So I'd much rather have these old tires and things on there. But I think what I'm going to do is buy a new set of wheels for it as well. So I'm just going to get white wall tires, nice wheels, and then I can just put those on it while I'm driving it. When I get back into a body work, state of mind, I can throw these back on it and it'll be able to drive and roll. These tires are in great shape because they've spent their entire life in a garage, air conditioned for the majority of that. So they're 2014 tires. They were put on before I bought it. I bought it in 15. So 11-year-old tires. I'm not a big fan of driving around on those, but I'm going to tell you, these things are just in phenomenally good shape. They don't show their age in any way at all. And they're still pretty dang soft, considering. But yeah, it's not safe, especially in a car like this that, is not going to be the best handling thing. No, nothing new on the Camaro. Last time I talked to him, he was waiting on parts, and he seemed kind of frustrated about waiting on them. So, I don't know. He said when he gets it running, he's going to come over and take me for the first ride in it. So, I need to reach out to him. I found some more parts for him that he needs to come and get. But as far as I know, it's not on the road yet. So, speaking of on the road, you guys don't see very much of this one, but 2000 WS6. It's actually, this car came from my wife, not from my garage, but it has found its way in here. And we just don't drive it, so she doesn't want to get rid of it. So I did get it. I did get it running. Sorry, I'm in vertical mode. I don't have very good ability here of being able to show it, but this one's got an automatic conversion. She didn't want to have a standard. I actually prefer automatic myself, so I have no problem with that. It's only got about 40,000 miles on it too. So the only thing I don't like about this car is, let's see. Oh Lord, custom tuning, headers, no cats, lowered. Those are the main problems with it. I don't know. I've just kind of gotten to where I'm not a big fan of dealing with tuning, with any of that kind of stuff. I like factory. Matter of fact, it would be cool if they weren't pieces of crap. Would be the new LT1 would be really cool in this car, especially the variations in the ZL1 with the blower would be very cool. I could see that happening someday. Assuming that it could actually go in this car, because I'll be honest, I have no idea. I don't know much about 4th gens, except that they are even harder to work on than the 3rd gen, from what I can see, with that dash and windshield being over the engine. So I try not to mess with this car. But it does run and drive. The battery is actually a 2015, so it's very bad. We got new tires on the back, new wheels on the back. And the front tires, I think, might be getting, I can't remember if we put tires on here at some point, but these are date coded for, I can't tell. Anyway, we're going to start driving this car, though. That's the plan. That is the plan. But yeah, I'm going to try to do more video. It's unfortunately a lot of things going on, and we were traveling a lot, but we've kind of pulled back from that. Had a pretty big issue at my house here, as I mentioned, I think in another live. The roof, which was put on a 17, was completely shot, and it destroyed most of the decking, so we had to do a complete redeck. And the re-roofing job went it went okay, but we had some issues as well. They were extremely fast. I mean, they showed up when they said they would. They knocked it out in 2 days, but we had some problems, and we had a lot of back and forth. But I will say they did address the issues that I had, although I don't think we should have had I don't think we should have had any of the issues that we had, and that was disappointing because it dragged out for a while. But it is done, it's paid, and it appears to not be leaking anymore, so that's good. Can't really see it. And so we are thinking about moving back up here for a bit, and so I'm going to be pretty tied up with some working on property, working on the house kind of stuff, and then potentially moving back up here. We're on the hunt for a different house, probably something on some acreage. Who isn't these days? But long story short, I'm just getting tired of having, half my stuff at one place and half at another. It's very disruptive to projects. It's a lot of time to get back and forth. Traffic's bad in our area, and traffic's getting really bad in town, to the extent that the drive from here to town is really not much worse or even as bad sometimes as going from my house in town to the stores, because of the traffic's just, we're growing. This area is just like everywhere else. You're building way beyond what the roads and the utilities are set up to handle. So anyway, for our sanity, probably going to condense to one house, sell the other, and then be looking for hopefully 40 or 50 or more acres somewhere with a shop, or we'll put in a shop and a house, right nearby, so that I can do more of the shop things on a regular basis than having to, take time out of my week to come up here. Anyway, I guess gotta bring some of this stuff back to my friend. I guess we're done for the night. Pretty happy to see the carpet back in the car, or carpet in the car, I should say. Pretty cool. The back seat is sort of fits. Now I do have an issue, and that is that it's very tight on that wheel well, and this is the back side. So basically, I tried to preserve as much of the framework inside here as I could, but I'm gonna have to take off more because it's catching on the metal and scratching the paint off. And now there's carpet there, which means it's going to dig into the carpet, and then I'm going to try to take the seat out, and it's going to pull the carpet with it. So I'm going to lob off more on the front and back of this. Other than that, it fits in place. And if you're wondering what that is, somebody put some of that, I can't think of the name of it right this second, but it's like Ospo, but it's a paint, and it's for rust. I know the name. If you asked me 5 minutes ago, I could have told you. But they put that stuff somewhere, I think maybe inside that ashtray or something. I don't know why. And it ran down that door panel. You can see the black there. And it ran down between the door panel, or the kick panel, whatever you want to call that, and the seat. It actually comes right off. It's amazing. But there's actually a puddle of that stuff down there, because a piece of that core, I don't know what it's made out of. It's kind of like a soft material they use to core these little, whatever these trim pieces are they put on the interior pieces here. But anyway, it's like a foam almost, and it fell down in there and it was stuck to it. And I pulled it up and it's still wet, it's still gooey. So I need to actually probably do something about that. I'm worried it's going to get in that carpet. But I guess I'm going to wrap it up. Let's put a couple more things up, close up the shop, and head back to town, get some dinner. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Even a couple of you said, hey, so that's cool. Now we got 8 people here. What the heck? Oh, what is this stuff? Weird. I haven't used YouTube Live in a while, and it does some strange things now. It's trying to pop up some things. But thanks for stopping by, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to do a quick update on the car. Once this one gets halfway done, like I said, we're going to get a battery in this and start driving around a little bit more. So still trying to get rid of that thing. That's been a disaster. I'll tell you a quick story on that. I had this sold. This lady called me, and she was hot to trot. She wanted me to do a live stream and walk around, and she asked me a few questions about some things she saw in the pictures or whatever, and scheduled it for several days away. So I came up here, did the live stream, and I tried to do the live stream. I set up the Zoom meeting, and she said, well, I'm at work, and we actually don't really have internet here that works very good, and we couldn't get it to work, of course. I'm like, why did you even have me do it? I figured it out later. So she said, well, if you'll just take a video of these 3 spots, if those look fine, then I'm buying it. So I did a real detailed walk around, spent a lot of time on the 3 areas that she had a question about to show there was nothing wrong. And she says, oh, this is great. I'm going to schedule my flight, and I'm going to come up there and get this thing. So then she just kind of out of the blue tells me that, hey, this is several days later. I'm going to be home this weekend. We can do the live stream because I got good internet at home. I'm like, great. So now I got to go back up here and do another live stream. So, but I do it because I like to sell the thing, and I do the live stream with her, and she's very happy about everything. And she says, well, I've got 3 dates I can come. And I'm thinking, well, we'd already talked about a date, but okay. And of course, they were spread apart by almost 2 weeks. And I said, I've had it here. It's in my way. You can see it takes up, the entire bay is taken up by this thing. I'm not doing anything with it. I want it gone. By the way, if anybody's looking for a 2016 Bolus Road Chief in very good condition, well, look them up and shoot me an offer. But I need to get this thing gone. Oh, I'm so frustrated about trying to sell. It's just a bad time to do it. It's not a great time in the economy. I think it's about to turn around a little bit for a while, especially with the rates dropping next year. But it's Christmas time. The stocks have all kind of taken a little hit at the moment, and I'm thinking things are going to start picking up a little bit in 26. Probably crash at some point, but either way. Back to my story. So this lady, she agrees to come on the first date, but she threw this little caveat in that some friend's going to watch her dogs, and she may be tied up. And of course, wouldn't you know it, the first date couldn't make it because of that. But then the second date was 5 days later, and it was also a Friday, which worked out good. It's all right. We won't go anywhere. We'll be here. We'll see you Friday. Thursday, she messages me and tells me, oh, I'm not going to be able to do it on Friday because I've got to go to some other state for work, and I'm going to be tied up there a few days, so I'm going to have to just do that third date that I originally gave you, which was another week and a half, which happened to be Monday this week. Then we were going back all the way to the middle of December. Early middle of December is when she's supposed to have been here. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I got this roof situation to deal with, and oh my goodness. She messages me Saturday morning. Supposed to be here on Sunday. She changed her day from Monday to Sunday. She went in the right direction, but then she messaged me Saturday and says, oh, I didn't know it was going to cost me a big penalty to get my money out of wherever it's at, some investment or retirement account. And I'm thinking, are you really shopping for this high of a ticket item without having secured cash? Or financing? I don't care. I don't care how you're buying it, but you tied this up now for 3 weeks. She's tied this thing up. And wasted a lot of my time, and now she can't get the money. And she said that she would, but you know, she would need some time to sort it out. I'm thinking, I've got people knocking my door down to buy it at this price. And after what you did, I'm just not, I won't even talk to her. I haven't responded to her. And anyway, long story short, here it sits. Now, the good news, we're getting into buying season for RVs here in just a few weeks. Once New Year's gone, they start going back up. So hopefully that means I'll get more money out of it. That's my plan. So I'm raising the price up. We're going to relist it in a few weeks, and we'll see what happens. Option B is what I bought this for, which was to pull behind the 49 because it's an exact copy of a 1935. So it's something that you would have potentially seen behind a 49 Chevy, and it looks cool as crap behind it. So I may actually go back to my plan of putting a hitch on this car and towing it a little bit. It'll be a removable hitch. It's not going to be a permanent thing. It would just be cool to take a camping trip with this car and pull this vintage looking trailer. So anyway, yeah, I don't know if you're still here, King Mechanics. If you're talking about custom BCM, I mean, it's just a factory 2008 Trailblazer BCM. I pulled the entire harness out of it, and you see that flat tire making the car lean. I pulled the entire interior wiring harness out of the Trailblazer. There are two entire harnesses here from the Trailblazer. This is the second one. But I used the second one to lengthen the first one because the BCM location had to be moved to the trunk. You may already know that. I'm just telling you that because other people that might watch the video might be wondering. But yeah, I mean, it's all factory. The ignition key is original factory to the Trailblazer. It's a column key that I built brackets for, and it's mounted right there in the factory key location. Now, I'm not using the factory start button. I could, but I didn't want to go cutting into that. There's really no advantage. I actually prefer having one key to start instead of the button. So, and then I mounted the BCM back here. And if you ever do it with a Trailblazer harness, I can tell you, BCM's in that dark spot right there, that the lift gate module is required for the engine to start. Now, I'm not sure why. Maybe maybe the ground for that module, for that cable, is what's grounding, something to do with the ignition relays coming on. But regardless, got to have the liftgate module installed, and then it starts right up. So all the security, stuff is there from one end to the other, and all you do is just cut out all the stuff you don't need. All right, well, I got to get, so thanks for stopping by, everybody. We'll talk to you later.